Recently, I've been on a grind to go for DM Ultra and multiplayer, and that progression obviously involves unlocking gold and diamond on some of the specific weapons in the weapon classes. And I've been trying to look up some guides and videos on people telling or giving tips on how to unlock these specific camos in the best ways possible. And yes, they are good, but they feel slightly outdated with some of the strategies they recommended, and they don't go very well into the point. So today I want to quickly just dive into some of the maps, some of the score streaks, some of the perks and things like that to improve your strategies and your fastest possible way to unlock these diamond camos on the weapons. Unfortunately, this will not involve melee weapons or rocket launchers, as they kind of require a little separate class for some of these recommendations, and this will involve mostly the same camos throughout some of the weapons. I only have shotguns and ARs diamond, but I kind of have a fair idea of what to do as efficiently as possible. Also, this won't be involving really leveling up of your weapons. I will link a video down in the description for leveling up your weapons faster if you're still struggling with that. Really quickly also, before we get into it, we're super close. We're 300 subscribers away from 15,000. Thank you all so much, and also be sure to drop a like on the video, as that does help out the channel itself. Can we hit 50 likes? Thank you all so much, and let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the score streaks. I recommend running the UAV, counter UAV, and the harp. Now the reason I recommend mostly these is because this will help you out a lot with the Flora challenges that require for most of the weapons, which involves revealing enemies, and UAVs are really easy to unlock, and especially counter UAVs. We'll get into that later. But also, if you don't want to, for example, run a harp, since it does require 6,000 points in game, and sometimes you might not get to that, I recommend the air patrol. Now that is only 2,400 points, and the good thing about air patrol is that it will destroy whatever the enemy has as their score streaks. So for example, if you pop a UAV and there's a counter UAV, you can just pop in the air patrol and it should destroy the counter UAV most of the time. For the perks, I recommend for perk 1 tactical mask, as this will basically make you immune from any of the stun grenades or things like that you will be using later for some of these strategies. For perk 2, I recommend scavenger, as there's sometimes situations where I found myself running out of ammunition. Honestly, this one can kind of be your interpretation of what you want to run. And perk 3, I also run cold-blooded, not to be spotted by UAVs sometimes when I'm popping off going for bloodthirsties. For the wild card, I also recommend running with gunfighter, as this will maximize the amount of attachments you have on your primary weapon. This is really good because obviously you want to use as many attachments as possible to make your weapons as good as possible. Now, I'm not going to be really telling you any attachments for the weapons, as there's far too many and they all kind of have their own little tweaks and twines there. If by any chance you ever want that, I could, I guess, make a video in the future, but I'm still not around that stage. But without further ado, let's get to the actual camos. For the first one, I kind of will be skipping the first camos that only requires you 300 kills most of the time, and that is a very easy camo challenge to do, as you will be most likely using these weapons. But the second one is a stripes, which will require you to get 100 headshots. Now I found that this one also happens like the first camo challenge, but sometimes I do have 80 left out of 100, so that requires 20 more headshots. What I like to do is hop into Nuketown Hardcore and try to my best to aim at the heads of the enemies. This will be kind of difficult, especially if you have weapons that are not very good, and especially if you hip fire with them and they mostly spread bullets everywhere. This will be a very difficult one to get, but if you just concentrate and mainly concentrate on the headshots at this time, this won't be a very difficult process. But definitely hardcore Nuketown 24/7 is one of the best things to do. For classic, which requires you to get 20 bloodthirsties, honestly I think this is kind of ridiculous, because I remember back in the day when I used to grind Call of Duty camos. I didn't play Modern Warfare 2019, I don't know how it was with those camos back then, but I remember 5 bloodthirsties was difficult, so 20 is a bit ridiculous. But let's say if you are at a specific level to unlock the classic camos, this won't be a very difficult process, as you will most likely be getting these bloodthirsties. Now the thing that I struggled with the bloodthirsties was the shotguns the most, so what I recommend doing is actually popping into hardcore Nuketown and definitely keeping one of those houses as your own. So be cautious, be very wary. If you have a UAV popped up and you're, let's say, playing core or hardcore, definitely keep an eye out for that. Be sure to kind of memorize where the spawn points of the enemies are. And also, if you are playing hardcore with the shotguns and let's say you're going for bloodthirsties, do remember some teammates can be stupid sometimes and end up killing you. The amount of times I was on 4 kill streak and I needed one more for bloodthirsty with the shotguns was ridiculously annoying. It's kind of easier with the AR since they are far longer in the distance, and that's kind of the only thing I can recommend for shotguns. For pistols, I'm pretty sure that will be slightly difficult, but they're also long range, and everything else including sniper rifles and LMGs is just obviously long range. Now the next camo I want to talk about is geometric. This one involves getting 50 long shots with some weapons. You could hop into Nuketown. There are some strategies and locations that I will be showing you right now in this moment that you could lie down, let's say, or go to get your best long shots possible. But you could hop into domination hardcore hardcore and play whatever maps they recommend for you. In that, surprisingly, a lot of the maps seem like it will be close range with some of the kills, but they do end up being long range. One of the best maps for this is, in my opinion, Satellite, as this is actually insane with some of the long shots that you could get with some of the weapons, with ARs, pistols even, and some of the other weapons that you could use. It's a very easy process of doing it. It's just kind of one of those that you actually need to concentrate on sometimes, even though it does require only a certain amount of the long shots at certain times. Now on to Flora. This is a very interesting camo challenge, as I am mostly recommending for you to play hardcore. For this one, you're definitely better off hopping into core. Now obviously, if you're a good player and you play a lot of hardcore, there are occasions where you will be unlocking the UAV, the harp, or the counter UAV a lot, even though the counter UAV can be slightly unreliable in hardcore, because that will require the enemy team to also have a UAV with the counter UAV. But if you hop into Nuketown core 24/7, this is such an easy process, and the things that I recommend for you to run with is either a jammer or a field mic. Personally, I use the jammer sometimes, but I recently started using the field mic, as that will reveal where the enemies are and you can be more cautious. I will show you the best locations where to throw these down so they don't get destroyed most of the time. It's best to have them as hidden as possible in shadowed areas and hope none of the enemies have the perk where they can reveal and find your field mic or jammer. And also run with the stun grenade. Now, for example, this is a different challenge for sniper rifles where it just requires you to hold breath while getting kills, so that is a very easy challenge to do on the snipers. But for example, SMGs, ARs, shotguns, pistols, LMGs, TAC ARs, they're all very similar with this camo challenge. So stun grenade, and with the perk that is tactical mask with perk 1, this will basically kind of make you immune to all of those flashes that you will be throwing, which I found myself flashing myself a lot. And one of the greatest locations to throw this flash is actually in the middle of the map, as people love to kind of hide in between the bus and the truck, and you can actually flash people a bunch of times. This will require speed, so do throw it at a distance where you feel like you will get there in time. Now I like to run with the jammer or field mic and only one of them, which obviously you can change with some of the different attachments and perks and wildcards. But if you're running with one of them, the best locations, as of like telling you, it's the houses or slightly in the middle. There are occasions where the enemies just don't spot them or don't blow them up, and it's the best thing to do to get those kills revealed by your UAVs. Obviously your counter UAVs to be countered in core could potentially unlock a harp, but this requires your equipment, something that I actually didn't really get at first. And now the last camo challenge that in my opinion is probably the easiest and something that a lot of people consider to be hard, and that's only for one of the sections. So for ARs, TAC ARs, LMGs, this requires you to get kills while the enemies are hidden. Now from what I found out, by hidden, Treyarch means anything below kind of the shoulders, but I found out it could just mean the torso at the bottom. So I will be at the end of this video showing you the best locations on some of the maps where to kind of keep an eye out for the enemies. Definitely play hardcore domination. That is the best to run with this challenge of killing enemies that are hidden. Probably one of the maps that I can think of are actually Satellite. That is amazing for this. Checkmate, and surprisingly Armada Strike. It's really good in some of the locations. Now some people just tell you like one of those locations. I will be running around most of the maps at the end and just showing you the best strategies for that. But with the point blank kills require for like shotguns, pistols, SMGs, and other things, definitely core Nuketown. So for example, if you're working for your Flora camo challenges, definitely go for the point blank kills. For example, if you use a stun grenade, you can run up and easily kill the enemies very close up, and this shouldn't be very difficult. But remember, you kind of have to be really close up to the enemies with this one. It's not one where you can actually keep a very big distance between them. And that's kind of it for the camo challenges. I know I kind of rushed into this and did it all fast, but I don't want to keep you long. I want you to go out there and grind this camo challenge out, get your DM Ultra, get your diamond, and also remember to run around with the rocket launchers. The Sigma is definitely one of the best ones to use, as in to take down Scorestreaks, as it does have a lock on, but the RPG is an absolute pain and I still have to figure it out. So if you ever want a video, that will be coming out in the future. But without further ado guys, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you think of this kind of video. I've never done multiplayer before, but without further ado, I will leave the rest of the video to just me running around and showing you the best locations where to keep an eye out to get those kills behind cover, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Okay, sorry for the mic change. Now it does probably sound pretty poo-poo because I'm on my PlayStation right now. But I will be showing you the best locations really quick, just so not to make this video much longer. But we're on Armada Strike right now, and one of the best locations to be actually getting some of those kills is surprisingly over here. The enemies like to chill over there. If you have a good scope, and I definitely recommend for you to pop in with this scope if you're going for these kills. Axial arms 3 times. It will be actually pretty OP. Okay, I've actually killed myself just to show you. If you stay around this area, enemies really like to kind of vibe over here. For example, if it's domination, I recommend playing hardcore domination mainly. But also you can see the window in the back and shoot them. Now, obviously there are other sides that you can get kills on. Sometimes enemies like to poke their heads around this area, so I definitely recommend hopping over there, or they like to vibe over here. But most of the time it's over there. Remember, the enemies have to be fairly close. So for example, let's say this is an enemy. I think around this area, if he's vibing and you kill him over here on this area, this should count as a kill behind cover, fingers crossed. But what I like to do is like just, you know, take care of this side and this side, and in the very back you can see a bit of that area that we were looking just over here. It's kind of difficult to tell, but that's kind of it for this map. I guess some enemies can hop over there, but it's definitely kind of, you know, this will involve a lot of camping. But let's get right into the next map. Okay, so now we're on checkmate, and what I like to do here, for example, if you're on this side, I like to hop up here. You feel like everybody knows about it. And sometimes the enemies can poke their heads out. I don't know. I don't have my scope on, even though I did equip it. They like to kind of lie over there, so you can actually kill them over here. They like to vibe over here. Or they can poke their heads over there. You could kill them. But what I prefer even more is actually running on this side. If you're, for example, on the other side of the map, which I'm pretty sure is C. I don't know exactly. But for example, you can lie down here, which I do so many times, and enemies, there are occasions where they themselves keep popping up. They just keep coming back, and it's such easy kills behind cover, and potentially even long shots. Why do you think lying in the middle? Because they always expect you to be either up here, or I don't know, up here where I showed you, or up here. But if you're just lying out in the open and there's nobody running around here, you could get easy kills behind cover. Now we are on the map Satellite, and what I feel like the best thing to do here is be sticking to this side, as this will be giving you long shots. But from what I found out, I actually went off nearly on a nuclear kill streak. Yes, I don't have that clipped, but trust me, that nearly happened. Is I stayed behind this rock, which obviously if the enemies are on the other side, they can easily kill you. What I did was, enemies love to pop their heads from this side, or this side, or this side, and occasionally you'll have the occasional campers over here. And it's such easy kills behind cover because their heads pop out of the dunes, and it's easy kills. Now they do love sniping from here. It's also a very easy kill over here and over there. Definitely with the axial ×3, this will be very easy. But you could occasionally, you know, hop onto the other side whenever the flag decides to flip. And over here, what I decided to do some of the times was just actually stay in the open and keep an eye out on that rock that I told you to hide behind. I found players liking to vibe over here, and sometimes this side can be kind of bad because there's not much where they can hide apart from these rocks, which they do take advantage of. But I just found this side from that side is just like they never learn, and obviously that will require a slightly stupid lobby. And you might think I was in a bot lobby. Trust me, I was not in a bot lobby. It's painful. Multiplayer skill-based matchmaking is definitely a horrible thing. That's kind of it for Satellite. Obviously there are multiple rocks here, multiple occasions to be getting those kills, but these are just, again, one of the obvious locations. Let's get on to the next map. And the last map is, yes, on the beautiful new Miami 6v6, which is basically the daytime Miami. There's actually a 24/7 game mode on right now, so you could hop in here. This map somehow is very good for the kills behind cover. And if you play domination, there is a flag B on this side. So for example, if you come from flag A, I think this is A, hide behind this bus and keep an eye out. Oh, that's weird. The track? Hold up a minute. What? So you were able to straight up like shoot them from this side, but I guess it's an updated version where they kind of fixed it. Oh well, don't worry, there's potential of getting kills over here. That is a very weird thing. And sometimes you can get kills through this area, which is also a kills behind cover. That is very interesting. So that's their way of fixing that kind of potential of killing people behind cover. I don't know if that's only here, But for example, if you're just kind of like here and hop up, you can sometimes get kills behind cover. And one of the last locations that I really like to use on this map is over here. Enemies like to vibe over there, or if you're on this side, you vibe over here. And that's kind of it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope I helped you out. I really wanted to help out as many people as possible. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe, like the video, and also remember there's again potential of getting those kills behind cover on multiple maps. Nuketown surprisingly not very good. But without further ado, guys, hope you enjoyed. Subscribe, like, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.